Life support systems online.
Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to another channel update. It has been a while, my friends. I try to do these once a month, and I have neglected to do so for the past couple months now. I think the last one I did was January 2016. I might have missed that one too. I think it was I had that one all, no, I did miss that one because I had it all set up to do, and I missed it. So last time was December of last year. Mostly I missed the January update because it was I had another hard drive issue and I had to hurry up and move footage around. This footage that I have recovered, which the game in the background is Star Horizon, by the way. This footage I recovered after much consternation, but it is here. It's now. I eventually got past all those problems, but yeah, and then February came and went so fast I couldn't do anything about it. So here I am now, March. I have neglected this for far too long, but it's okay. I should be getting back into some sort of, hopefully, pattern again. Since the last time we had a channel update, now for those of you new to the channel, I try to do this once a month just to give a little bit of transparency around the channel, what's going on, and just some ideas and thoughts about what I may or may not be doing with the channel. I understand it's usually not a good idea to talk about things that you haven't recorded yet, but I like to do it anyway, just to kind of put some feelers out there and see what's going on in the world. But yeah, this is mostly just me rambling on for a little while, just to give you updates on how the channel is going, the health, and some of the things I'm thinking about as far as it's concerned. Welcome to all the newcomers to the channel, and welcome back to all the oldies and oldies but goodies. Everybody is awesome and great, and I am very, very pleased with how things are going with the channel. It is. The views and stuff are down, but I mean, it seems like that's a pattern throughout YouTube, not just with me, but it looks like even the larger channels are having that issue. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. I mean, I'm still happy. I'm happier than this is still more than I thought I'd be able to do when I started 2 years ago. So it's so I'm just rolling with it right now, but I will be making some changes here and there as I try to do, to always somewhat, at least a little bit, try to improve as I go along. But some stats here. The last time we met, we had 1,221 videos. We are up to 1,356 now as of my recording of the audio of this. And went from 321 to 340 subs. Again, welcome to all the newbies, and thank you for coming back to all the vets. And went from 63,294 channel views to 74,298 channel views, so over 10,000. But that was in the space of 3 months since I had last updated you guys. So some of the states of the series that are going on the channel now. Soul Zero has been a long running series on my channel. It's been with me for quite some time, ever since I first heard about the game on Reddit under Let's Play My Game, or I'm sorry, Play My Game. The subreddit was what it was on, and ever since then, it has been a love affair, I would say, with the game. It's my go-to game when I need to unwind and just kind of relax a little bit. That said, we're at, I think I just finished recording episode 122, I believe. It's the, I'd say, second longest running series on my channel, the first being Cube World in its various incarnations. I think I'm up to like 131 on Cube World, so it's rapidly approaching that. So I've been playing the game, and each one of the episodes of Soul Zero is about half an hour, if not more, sometimes. So let's do the math on that. You see how many hours I've been playing the game, both when it was not on Steam and lately now that it is. So I'm still very much enjoying it, but I think I'm rapidly approaching the point where I need to free some time up on the channel, and maybe I would continue playing it off, away from the camera, or maybe as a a one-off live stream here and there, but not as a regular series anymore. That's not to say there's nothing particularly wrong with it. It still gets quite a lot of views. So this is actually it's one of the, I'd say, the second highest viewed series on my channel. The first being, believe it or not, Cube Ramblings, which boggles my mind, but I can see why. But it's it's one of those things where I never felt like I've done any good with Cube Ramblings, and yet people seem to like it. So I try my best, despite that. It's with Soul Zero. It's been a very, very good series for me. I still very much enjoy the game, but I feel like there are other games I want to get back to on the channel, and spending an hour a week recording Soul Zero is an hour that I could be spending getting other coverage of other games as well. I mean, I think I've covered Soul Zero back to front, front to back. We've played almost every map on it, some of them twice, and the game it's released, it's mature. It's getting the occasional bug fix, but otherwise, it's we've seen the experience, and there are other games that I have encountered along the way that I've been wanting to start to play on the channel, but I don't want to overload. I try very hard not to overload myself, as well as overload the schedule. I'm trying not to do more than 2 videos a day. And even that, I am making sure I only do that like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then the other days of the week, I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. Two is the maximum I'm trying to do, and I'm also giving days in there where I only do 1, like Mondays usually. But it's yeah, I think just this is my thought is that I will probably finish up the exoplanet map that I'm on now, Gales, and then once that's finished, I think that will be the final episode of the series. I know it's been a long running series. I realize that there are a lot of you that really enjoy it, and that might be the only reason why you even keep me as a sub. And I would encourage you to try some other things, but I understand fully if if nothing else I do is worth your time, and I completely understand that it is the I guess the curse of YouTube is that people really come to consume. It's an a la carte thing, right? And people like what they like, and they want to consume what they want to consume, and that includes multiple YouTubers, and that tends to mean that when you have that many YouTubers that you're relying on, one YouTuber, you might only watch that YouTuber for one particular series, and then everything else is for other ones. So that kind of puts it puts each individual YouTuber in kind of a bind, because at some point you're going to eventually get worn out of a particular game. It's inevitable. I mean, a lot of people have sworn that they would never get tired of Minecraft, and yet really you only see it on some of the bigger channels anymore. It's not quite as the big channels are continuing to bring, the channels that only do Minecraft are continuing to bring in the viewers, but everyone else is not so much. And so it's just one of those things, right? It's like, at some point, when you run a variety channel, it's particularly bad, because you really want those slots to free up at some point, so that you can cover more things. And my goal is to really is to play every game that I'm allowed to play. Is what it comes down to. I'll never achieve that goal, but it's good to have goals, right? It's good to have some kind of goal, some lofty goal. And that is my lofty goal, is to play every game that I ever wanted to play. And maybe even some that I hadn't even considered and ended up wanting to play anyway. I mean, Borderlands is one of those that I never really considered playing until I really got into the story with Tales from the Borderlands, and now I'm hooked, totally hooked on that. And I'll talk about the live streaming stuff in a little bit. But yeah, as far as Soul Zero goes, I think that will be coming to an end, unless you know, in the future some large change or DLC or something like that happens. Then I might jump back into it for a little bit. But it's definitely not going to be or I might do a live stream of it. You know, I'm not opposed to playing it. I still like the game. It's just I want to devote some of that time to other things as well. In particular, I ran across I did a SideQuest video a couple months ago on a game called Big Pharma, and I've been jonesing to play that as a series, and I just, you know, I started playing Birth of the Federation. And I love, you know, now I'm back into playing Birth of the Federation again. I freaking love that. I can't wait to sit down and record it. And when I do record it, I end up recording for like 2 hours just because I can't pull myself away from it to do other things. So it's, that's, you know, it's things like that that Soul Zero kind of, I hate to say this, but it kind of gets in the way sometimes. Like, it takes up a slot that I really want to use for other things too. That's a horrible way of saying it, but that's not. There's no malice there. It's more of a. I just. There are other games too that I want to play, and I don't get a whole lot of time to do it. So I want to share that experience when I do get the time. So that's one of the things I'm thinking about, is that there's also a couple others that I've been looking at that I might do. Obviously, we went through Homeworld Deserts of Karak, and there is some DLC out for that, but that is only for multiplayer. So that pretty much is done for now. Eventually, I would like to go back and play Homeworld 1 and 2, Homeworld 1 and 2, because I have the remaster of them, Homeworld Remastered. So eventually I'd like to do that, though that's going to be an interesting editing thing, just like Deserts of Karak was. So we'll have to see how that is managed, but that's going to be a while off. Really, I'm just looking at right now Birth of the Federation and probably Big Pharma, but we'll see as time goes there. As far as the real-time strategy games go. Now, I don't want to overload the channel with real-time strategy games. I feel like 2 at once is enough, because I do want to get back to some other genres. It feels like I've stopped doing certain genres, but it's just what's been, again, sort of clogging up the pipes is Crashlands, and it's clogged it up enough that I haven't put out an episode of Space Engineers in forever, and I realize that, and it wasn't my intention to ever stop that series. It's just that when you're doing a sandbox game, everything takes too much time. Everything takes so much time, and it's hard to do 2 of them at once, especially Crashlands, where there is a lot of grinding off camera. It's fun grinding, but it's not fun to watch. It's fun to play, not fun to watch. And I feel like, based on the views that I've seen, and I've seen a couple of YouTubers that I follow just stop playing the game outright. I had to go looking around to see if anybody actually finished the game, because a lot of YouTubers just kind of stopped after the first battle with Hugo and didn't actually continue their series at all. And I think, you know, even the ones that did continue don't have very large amounts of views, because it strikes me that the game is a lot of fun to play, but probably not as much fun to watch, which is why I've been trying to do as much off-camera, as much of the grindiness off-camera as I can, and just focus on the quests and the storyline on camera, and that seems to be working pretty well. But again, it takes several hours of prep and everything else to get through that, particularly with the drop rates being what they are, which is sometimes a little bit ridiculous and crazy. And it's always the same variation on the same theme too, so it's it does get a little bit tedious after a while. But I am very much enjoying the storyline of that. So I'd like to finish the storyline of Crashlands, and once that's done, that frees up for, I think, Space Engineers again to come back, which I really wanted to do. And in the meantime, since really the only thing on my channel has been like side quest videos, it's been the sandbox games and real-time strategy games, and I like to get some other genres back in there again. So like first-person shooters and stuff like that, or some kind of shooter, or some kind of space fighter pilot thing. Who knows? I mean, I still my series for Rebel Galaxy I put on hold, and I only had, I think, 5 episodes into that, and I believe I accidentally left it on a cliffhanger of some point, and I think I still have footage that I haven't edited yet. It's just not enough for a full episode, so apologies. I did not mean to stop that series on a cliffhanger like that. I always intended to, and I still intend to come back to it, so sorry. Oopsie I say. But anyway, I've rambled on about that stuff, so I'd like to get some of that back. I was trying to get No One Lives Forever to work again. I had it working at one point in time, but it's not quite working again, so I might fiddle with that some more a little bit until I can figure out what's going on there. But I was thinking about that, but I also don't want to go have too much in the way of older games versus newer games. I like to have a balance, so we'll see how it goes there. There's also a bunch of games coming out. Obviously, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, when that comes out, that's going to be a thing. And I also have a few games in my library that I like to get to at some point. Like I think Quantum Break, I have that pre-ordered. I think that's actually out now, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll have to look. So I had that on the Xbox One, so I like to play that if I can. And I have The Division, which I haven't dug into yet, other than the beta, and Hitman as well. So a lot of ground to cover there. What I'd also like to do is I did a side quest video a couple weeks ago, or last week, or whatever it was, for a game called The Next World, and it's there's a lot of reading and a lot of talking, which was a bit exhausting, but it was still fun. The narrative was, the story was good, the narrative was pretty good. It's an interactive novel with some colony management involved with it. And I had gotten through all the prologue and had started to do some of the colony management stuff, and then I stopped there. That video got like something like 45 views in a very short amount of time, which for me, being a small YouTuber, that's that means there was a lot of interest there, seeing that. So I would like to bring that on as a series. It's going to be a lot of reading, a lot of listening, but I kind of assume that people don't necessarily watch the videos, they listen to them, because that's kind of how I consume YouTube. I'm usually doing something else and I have a video playing in the background and I'm just listening to it, which is why I gravitate towards YouTubers that are kind of everymen and not trying to put on a show necessarily, but are just trying to just be entertaining but also be themselves, kind of, and also are not like screaming at the top of their lungs all the time. So that's kind of how I approach my that is how I approach my making of videos. I always assume that that's the case, although I do try to make sure I record at a good quality and all that stuff, just in case. But yeah, I always assume that people are more listening to it than watching. So that said, I think The Next World will be really good in regards to that. I mean, assuming you can put up with me trying and failing horribly to make to make different voices, but I think the general consensus I've gotten in the past is that no one seems to have too much of an issue with that. So I'm I think that's not something I have to worry too much about. Also, I still have to finish Sorcery. I played Sorcery 2. I have still some footage of Sorcery 2 that I haven't rendered out yet. But that I haven't finished that on the mobile device yet, and I think Sorcery 3 just came out on the PC, so I could actually switch over to the PC, I think, to play that if I wanted to. So a couple of those are around, and then obviously we're going to have Minecraft Story Mode coming back to us eventually. I'd like to finish that off, and I have recorded a video which I think will go out on Saturday. I have it just set for private right now because I'm still on the fence about it. And I'll tell you why I'm on the fence about it. It's called The Descendant, and it's a Telltale-like game where there's a lot of, it's just it's story-driven, it's narrative. There's not a whole lot of gameplay there. It's more of a, you know, it's more of a point and click than anything else. Well, it is a point and click is what it comes down to. But the first episode was only about an hour, and that was a full episode of the game. It's an episodic release, and the narrative so far not very good. So I've been on the fence about, should I release it? Should I not? I mean, is it just going to be? Is it just too cringy to watch? I mean, I try to. You know, I cracked a few jokes in there, so I think I make it a little bit more palatable sometimes. But I'm leaning towards the I'll release it on Saturday when I normally would only have one video, which would normally be Crashlands. So maybe I'll release it then, and you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if I get a ton of of negativity around it, or if it's more of a just nobody cares. In which case, I'll just keep doing it because I bought into it. Why not? So, all that said, expect more of that in the future. More of the point and clicks, more of the interactive novel things. Not too much, because you know, I know there gets to a point where there's so much reading going on and there's so much listening that it may not be very compelling if you're trying to watch it. You know, if you're just listening, it's probably not so bad, but you know what I mean. So there is all that. That's what I wanted to say on that. And in addition, so I wanted to cover how much time I have. Oh, I got plenty of time. Good. All right. I'm going to keep you guys here for a little bit. I want to cover live streaming and things related to that. So, and things related to just YouTube recording and stuff. So lately, and I don't know why this is, but lately DxTory has been real pain in the neck when it comes to recording things. I've been actually recording videos with OBS more often than not now because it's just DxTory is either causing lots of flicker when I record the video, or it's not recording all the surfaces, a la Firewatch, where I couldn't even see the map for the first couple of episodes, for the first recording session, I mean. And I found out that was DxTory doing that and causing that to happen. And that's not the first time something like that's happened. Like even though I was able to record City Skylines with it, some of the menus and stuff were messed up whenever DxTory was running. So there's certain surfaces that DxTory must take for itself, and it just causes problems with trying to enjoy the game and record the game sometimes, and some games just are completely resistant to it. So it's but OBS has been working like a charm. The only thing about OBS though is that I'm using the classic version, which doesn't have, and I don't know if the OBS Studio has this or not. I've just downloaded OBS Studio, so I haven't really dug into it that much. But I was doing like 96 kilobit audio, 96 bit audio, 96 something audio, whatever it was, 360 kilobit, 96 something audio, which was kind of the highest I could do with DxTory for the game audio. Also for my voice audio, I'm doing that too. I'm recording at the same place. But OBS can't go that high. It only goes to 48 kilohertz, 96 kilohertz. That's what it was. So there might be a little bit of a quality loss there, but I think at that point we're kind of splitting hairs anyway. I just did it because I thought maybe it would improve things a little bit, and it was like a little tweak that I did under the covers, and I don't know if it actually did, because ultimately YouTube re-encodes everything you put up there, so it sometimes doesn't matter. I mean, I started, you know, YouTube says you need to put things up in variable bitrate, and I started just putting them up in constant bitrate because I found that if I upload them in variable bitrate, I was getting more artifacting from the YouTube rendering than if I just put it up in constant and then just let YouTube variabilize it. That said, I don't know how that affects people looking at it in like 480p or who have like not very good internets. So sorry, I don't know how that works out. But I assume since I'm giving it more data, that when that eventually happens, it happens all right. When it invariably gets knocked for a loop, it works out okay. But anyway, so with the live streaming, I've been doing a live stream every Friday, and that will continue. I've been doing Borderlands for right now, and getting through Borderlands 1. I'm into the DLC. I haven't finished the storyline for Borderlands 1 yet. I wanted to get all the DLC finished first because I feel like I'm very close to the end. I'm like level 35 or 36 now too, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to probably be overpowered for the final boss fight, but that's fine. I'm cool with that. And then from there, I was going to move on to the next video or the next, I think, Borderlands 2, or I'm not sure if I was going to do Borderlands 2 or Borderlands the pre-sequel, because pre-sequel is technically in story order, but I don't want to get used to some mechanic in the pre-sequel that is then gone from Borderlands 2, since that Borderlands 2 came out first in chronological order. So we'll see about that. Maybe I'll do Borderlands 2 first and then come back to the pre-sequel. Not sure yet. But that said, I've been saying for a long time that I want to get more streaming done. And I've been struggling to figure out how to do that, because up to this point I've been thinking to myself, well, why not, you know, if I'm going to stream something, it'll be something that I'm not going to put on the channel. And that was because I was using the classic OBS, which I still am using to a certain extent, but I'm starting to get into OBS Studio. I like to try that out. Maybe, hopefully I'll try it out tomorrow for the live stream, or today if you're, I don't even know when you're going to watch this, but anyway, on the Friday that this is coming out on. And I want to, you know, so I was trying to keep them separate, and that's difficult because, you know, like, yes, I have another YouTube channel for that, and yes, I have a Twitch channel and a Hitbox channel and all that stuff, but it's keeping those two things separate means that that's time that I don't have for the YouTube channel, or time that I don't have for streaming, so on and so forth. And I've been focusing entirely on the YouTube channel up to this point. So it seems to me like a lot of the audience, maybe not my audience, but a lot of the general Let's Play audience tends to be more focused on the streaming now. And in fact, I'm seeing a lot of developers just mentioning streaming all the time, or doing streaming of their own, things of that nature. It is a little bit easier because you don't have to go through the editing process and re-rendering and all that stuff. But I still want to do YouTube, because to me the barrier to entry for me for streaming is that I can only do it at a certain time of the night, and that's nighttime Eastern time, Eastern US time, which is fine for, you know, the Americas, but not really great for people over in Europe. They're pretty much in bed at that point, or damn near close to it. So to me, YouTube is the great equalizer there, because I can just upload a video, I can schedule it at a certain time of the day, it always comes out at that time of the day, and on that day, and everybody gets the benefit of it. Whereas a stream, you either have to be there to really enjoy it, or you try to catch a VOD, but trying to find VODs, like on YouTube, finding VODs is relatively easy, but on like Twitch and stuff, finding VODs is not the easiest thing in the world. So I'm thinking, since DxTory has been being such a pain in the butt lately, and I'm thinking of switching over to OBS Studio. One of the nice things in OBS Studio is that they now have the ability to break out your microphone audio from the rest of the audio. That's one of the big barriers I was having to uploading things to YouTube, was that they all sounded terrible because I couldn't mix my audio outside of the game audio because they were all on the same stream. But now it sounds like, and it looks like, you can separate those two, which means that I can do some post-processing on my audio to clean it up and, you know, fix the volume levels and stuff if I don't have them quite right for the stream, and make it, you know, edit it and make it look pretty darn good, pretty darn close to what a normal, you know, recorded series would look like on my channel and sound like on my channel. So, that said, that was a long-winded way of saying, I think I'm going to change up my process, my thought process around streaming, and I'm going to start some of the series that I have on the channel. I'm going to start live streaming the recording of them, and then edit them like I normally do, and put them up on the YouTube channel, and then you'll have the option, and put them up on Memory Leak Death channel, and you'll have the option of watching them like you normally do. They'll be scheduled, and, you know, thumbnails and all that stuff like normal. They'll be normal length, whatever the length is for them. And, you know, broken up into episodes and all that stuff, and they'll be edited and all those things. And then you'll have the option to, if you want to see the full live stream, go and over to Memory Leak Doom, or go to my Twitch channel or whatever, and see the full live stream if you want. If you hate the fact that I leave things on cliffhangers, you can go watch it right then and there and not have to wait for me to upload the next episode if you're that you know, curious about it. And I think that's the best of both worlds, because you get to see both. It's going to be a bit challenging because obviously there's going to be interaction with chat at some point. So probably there might be, I might see if I can get a chat window on the stream itself, so you can see what's being said in chat, possibly. I don't know. I don't do any sounders or anything like that, so at least we won't have that to worry about, because I don't have subs and stuff, so it doesn't, you know, or whatever they call, Twitch subs and stuff, so I don't need all the sounders and thank yous and all that stuff. And hopefully, I think this will work out, because what that means is then I'll just record at the normal time that I would record at nighttime. I'll record for the normal length I would record, and those who enjoy live streams will be able to enjoy the live stream. They'll be able to get your thoughts in too. I'll be able to respond to you while I'm doing things. Maybe you'll, you know, instead of yelling at me after the fact, you can yell at me during the fact, and that will help me to make some better content and not, you know, miss obvious things. And those of you who can't make it or don't particularly like live streams will still get the benefit of having a edited and processed video with a regular series and a playlist and all that stuff. And I think that's the best of both worlds. I have to make sure that I probably won't do much with the, like, on live streams now, I tend to turn the music off and turn my own, like, turn OCR radio on, OC Remix radio on. Probably won't be doing that. I'll probably be just turning the music down of the game really low, unless it's a AAA game, in which case there probably won't be any music at all. It'll just be, well, maybe there will be. Maybe there will be. It doesn't really matter, I guess, because I can always, the live stream will just be what it is. But I do want to make sure I don't get too many flags during the live stream that would cause problems. And yeah, I think that's, to me, that allows me to get used to streaming some more, because I'm still not really used to it. You know, I'm still not still not, I'm not good at really anything, but I'm still not really into the streaming thing. I'm still not in that mindset. I still am in the mindset of I'm going to come home, I'm going to do some things, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, get some rendering done, some editing done, and then that's that. Now it's more like it's the same process, except I'll also have the live stream going as I'm recording. So it'll be pretty much the same for me, but it'll be an extra opportunity for you folks to you know, to drop by if you want and see what's going on, see what I'm playing, and you know, you might get a little bit of a spoiler for what's for what's going to come up in an episode, but I think there's also a little bit of a what do I call it, a mystery, maybe? I guess maybe a little bit of a mystery there, because you know, you don't know what I'm going to edit out and what I'm not going to edit out. So it might be at least interesting to see how I do it, or what I deemed was worthy of being in the episode versus what wasn't, so on and so forth like that. Spoilers: Birth of the Federation, pretty much not doing any editing in that at all. Same with Soul Zero, I rarely do any editing in those, which makes them very easy to put together, but it's still, that's not the case for all the series. So that's my thoughts on that. I'd like to try it out. We'll see if it works, and I don't know when I'll start that. Probably sooner rather than later. I do need to get OBS Studio set up, and I want to do some tests with it first before I actually commit to it, because I want to make sure what kind of quality is coming out of it, that it's as good or at least pretty darn close to what you're already getting now. And you know, recording in OBS and classic OBS has been pretty good. I mean, I did all of Homeworld Deserts of Karak on that, and I've gotten comments that said that the game was looking very beautiful, so that tells me that I at least had all the settings right. If you comment on my videos and like, yeah, you know, this looks like a really beautiful game, then I'm usually saying to myself, oh good, I rendered it well. Because I can't take credit for the artwork, but I can at least know that I rendered the video at the correct quality settings for people to say wow. So that's half the battle there. But anyway, I have been rambling on for over 35 minutes now. I think you guys get the gist there. That is what's going on with the channel. Those are the things that I have planned. Those are things I'm thinking about. You know, as always, you know, any feedback in the comments in this or other videos, I try to be cognizant of. I don't necessarily always respond very timely, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a procrastinator to the nth degree. In fact, I believe I got a key from the developers of Duskers, which I already own, and I just never actually forgot. I forgot to email them back and say, hey, I already own your game, guys, and I already did a side quest video on it. Thanks for the key, but you can probably recycle this. So, oops. Oops. That's not really good. It's not good to shaft developers who are making really good games like that by not communicating with them. But I'm just terrible. I'm just a terrible person when it comes to communicating and staying in touch and all that stuff. I just, you know, I mean to do it, and then I forget, and then it's like 12 o'clock midnight, and I'm like, well, I gotta go to bed now because I gotta go to work tomorrow. So we'll do that tomorrow, and then it doesn't happen. So the perils. Also, it has been ages and ages since I did a video about how the sausage is made as far as the challenge goes. I noticed that someone actually commented on it a while ago, very recently. The one I did like a year or two ago, which is kind of cool. So I might do another one of those at some point if I get a little bit of time to do it, where I can just kind of bring up to speed with how I'm recording things. You know, just the behind the scenes, like here's how I put together something, and here's how I edit it, and here's how I my render settings and all that stuff. and you'll get to see some of that too a little bit in the live streams and stuff. Also, a lot of multiplayer sort of competitive games that I've been kind of looking at. I just managed to get some playtime in with Paladins again, and that game has changed a lot since I last played it. So I have to do some more practice rounds, I think, before I can get back into that again. And then I should be getting a little bit early access to Overwatch because I pre-ordered it, but only by a few days. So like, it's weird. They're like, yeah, you pre-ordered this game, you get in like 2 days early or something. And meantime, there's a ton of people in the closed beta. So I don't know, whatever. I'm not bitter, but I will be I will be getting into that probably at some point as well in a live stream, more than likely. All right, again, I've rambled on long enough. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Welcome to all the newcomers. Thanks for sticking around to all the old comers. And I will see you next time.